I'm Alex McVean, this is the Beautiful Games. Today we're going to be looking at Konami's seminal 16-bit football title, International Superstar Soccer Deluxe.
International Superstar Soccer Deluxe!
Released originally on the Super Nintendo in 1995, the game was also ported to the Mega Drive and PS1, with a Game Boy Advance release following in 2001. ISS Deluxe is actually an enhanced version of a previous release the same year, which was simply called ISS. The Deluxe release made some minor changes to gameplay and added a few nice features worth mentioning, such as 2-player co-op versus CPU and extra commentary alongside improved graphics and AI. The game includes 36 international teams, featuring, as the box describes it, recognisable celebrity players. These recognisable celebrity players share their surnames with players from previous generations, but with changed initials. So for instance, in the England team we have a J Moore, K Hoddle, T Keegan and R Banks. The PlayStation release supported up to 4 players, the SNES version 5, and the Mega Drive tops it off with up to 8 players at once. One of the biggest differences between this game and others of the same era is the ability to customise nearly everything. It's something we might take for granted these days, but the ability to change the colours of the kits, the formations, the tactics, the rules of the game and the strictness of the referee was something that's really quite different at this point in time. One of my favourite features that I found when digging through the settings menu was the ability to adjust all of the controls, and not only change which button did which action, but also to change the logic which determines which player is selected when you press the change player button. This is one of my biggest pet peeves with football games, and understanding how the game's going to choose the next player allows you to really customise things to suit your own personal playstyles. We'll look at some contemporary reviews of the game. First off, we'll take a look at a mini review of the Mega Drive version from CVG 182 in January 1997. Interestingly, they refer to this game as more of an arcade football title rather than a simulation, and then suggest that people will find it surplus to requirements if they already have other football games on the system. It's interesting how they refer to the graphics and sound as not being all that great. Perhaps to understand this viewpoint better, we need to take a look at the game's direct competitors. So at the end of 1996 and the beginning of 1997, there are quite a few other football games on the market. Some of the best regarded are Olympic Soccer on the PlayStation and Sega Worldwide Soccer on the Sega Saturn. Of course, we also have EA's FIFA 97, Sensible World of Soccer 96-97, and the Peter Schmeichel endorsed Onside Soccer. Now, I don't want to go into too much depth around some of these other games because, well, that would ruin future upcoming episodes of the Beautiful Games. But the general trend at this point in time is obviously the move to the 3D, 32 and 64-bit consoles, which might explain why the 2D ISS Deluxe didn't get the recognition that it probably deserved. Here's another article from Nintendo Power November 1995, which is a little bit more favourable. The article lists a lot of the other features which weren't so common in other games at the time, such as the voice-over commentary, transparent radar and the different conditions of each of the players, which is a feature I've always particularly liked about the early ISS games. So when you go into the formation select screen before a game, or during a game even, you can see a condition rating for each of the players, which is represented by these bouncing faces. A smiley face means the player is playing to the best of his ability, all the way down to an unhappy face which shows that the player is going to be playing slightly below the level of his stats. Now might also be a good time to mention that those stats are completely customisable, and you can just max out every single player on your team. So what's the lasting legacy of ISS Deluxe? Well, when it came out, I think it was overshadowed slightly by the newer generation consoles and the fact it came out right at the end of the 16-bit era. However, looking back at it now, you can say that this game definitely holds up against the greatest 2D football games of all time, right up there alongside Sensible World of Soccer, by offering an unrivaled amount of depth and customizability And despite some of the slight imbalance in the gameplay, mostly around where you score your goals from, it still remains a great competitive game, whether you're playing against the computer or playing against another human player. With all these things taken into consideration, I can definitely recommend that any gamer with even a passing interest in football should definitely give ISS Deluxe a try.